Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, today with Golgari, because I really wanted to play Golgari finally, and not the huge creatures that are awesome, so check out the other videos if you didn't so far. So, we are in the Skeletal Swarming territory, so you can know the drill by now. We are trying to go a bit fun about this deck, and also maintain a decent win rate. So we will talk about the results later. For now, what the deck is about. The deck is about enchantments. And after playing with this deck a bit, I have a lot of impressions that I want to share with you, so stay tuned for the full intro. So basically, our idea is that we have small enchantment creatures, so this enchantment creature thing, we really try to bank on it, so we cast a creature that's actually also triggering all our enchantment synergies. We have a lot of small creatures, like Fang of Shigeki. It might not seem relevant, but you can sacrifice it to the Dockside Chef. It is an enchantment that will create every Kami bigger and bigger. We have a lot of those small synergies, and the big star, this is the main card for the deck. This is basically a 3 mana 3/3, and then when you cast any enchantment spell, suddenly you have a 3/3 black and green frog token. And this frog token is a mini Meathook Massacre basically, because every time you cast enchantment spell, you drain 1 life and you gain 1 life, which is pretty sweet. And this frog is actually pretty deadly. And the fact that you get basically a 6/6 for very cheap cost, and you can reuse the frog every time, because even though it's legendary, when it dies you can just cast another enchantment, so you just reuse a lot of value. It's pretty insane. Also they have this 2 mana ability that you can go for basically green, because we don't really run blue in this deck. This creature, the Tatsunari, and a target frog. Who can beat this frog? Probably Kami, right? Cannot be blocked by creatures except the ones with flying or reach, so that's pretty rare, except maybe like angels or titan. So very often you can just hit enemy for 6 damage a turn, and believe me, then draining for 1 HP by every your card, every enchantment, really makes the game easy to close with this. So you will see in the video how it works, and honestly it seems brutally efficient when it works and when you can trigger. The biggest problem with this card, of course, is this being dead to any 3 damage at the end step. So we need to think about this. If enemy has open mana and has red or something like this, it's when you cast, so they cannot remove it when you cast it, so it comes into battlefield, and then the next thing you do is cast, for example, 1 mana Fang of Shigeki, and then of course they will respond with destruction of this beautiful frog rider. But still you get the triggers on the stack, you get the frog, you get the Fang of Shigeki, and this is how they fall behind. So, small tips for the deck. We have a few interesting cards like Life of Toshiro, Umezawa. This synergizes pretty well with the deck. First of all, it's enchantment. Second, it can be a creature, so in the end, after all those 3 chapters, you can just cycle it with Dockside Chef. So basically you can get free value in the longer game if you care for it. If not, usually you go for the +2/+2, especially on the Kami of Transience, because it has trample. You like everything with trample, and of course you can go for the skeletons as well, because they also have trample. Like if they ever lived, right? -1/-1 is situational, but it does help. Sometimes you can remove enemy 1 or 2 drop for free, and this is a huge value for just one of your chapters. So, interesting card, and it works nicely in this deck. We have 4 Meathook Massacres because it's insane card and you want to always play it, basically. Jugan, Defense of the Temple, whatever. This creates some ramp. The fact that it can create +1/+1 counters on multiple creatures, so the more you have the better. This is a really good synergy with the deck, because usually we sit with 3 small creatures. And yeah, the dragon is a big thing. It also procs from the Skeletal Swarming, because a creature entered the battlefield, so we can basically do nothing and then create, 7/7 skeleton. It has synergy. This card is really shining in this deck. It has multiple synergies. It also helps you to ramp into Skeletal Swarming, or just ensure binding and some small enchantment like 1 mana 1. So pretty good card and very decent. Bindings of the Old Gods, your mid-game engine, and it really helps with the lands as well, so definitely a hugely strong card here, especially that you generally want to go a bit low with all the mana costs, so this is your big like swing to overwhelm enemy in 2 or 3 next turns. That's your, like, I know it's for mana, but the fact that you get free land, very often you cannot play lands from your hand because you don't really have card draw with this deck, so very often you just whiff on the land, and the fact that you get this land for free means you might have one more creature in the hand, so it is really relevant. Alright, well man, I got tired of praising the Binding of the Old Gods. Gloomshrieker. Pretty good card, it has menace and it really helps to drain the enemy for this one extra bit of damage. And it's also enchantment creature and it can get back some permanent from the graveyard. It can be legendary, so you can get Meathook Massacre back from the graveyard because it's a permanent, so that's pretty huge. And the fact that you can, for example, play this for 3 and go for Fang, it means that you can proc 2 enchantment synergies at the same time if you really care for this one extra hit. You can also get back creatures that will make Meathook drain enemy, so a lot of small interesting plays, and basically all our deck are permanents, right? Binding is permanent, Skeletal Swarming is permanent, so we actually have a very decent choice in this deck. We also have Infernal Grasp. I don't remember ever drawing this card in any of the games. And the fact that we... results, right. So let's wrap the deck itself. The deck, how I feel about it, I think it's gimmicky. I think it's fun. I think if you like playing Skeletal Swarming, it's one of the best shares for the card. However, this card is not like... If I didn't have this card, it would still be fine. We probably could find better contenders here. Kami is amazing. Probably if you have 4 copies of them, you probably want to switch into more of them, because this, I have found that this is the biggest engine benefiting from the enchantments, and the fact that you get it back. So like you sacrifice Fang of Shigeki to Chef, and then at the end step during enemy turn you get it back as well, so you get a card advantage for this reason. It's really huge. And I think this is the biggest card for the deck. Tatsunari, like when you play this card and the binding, you can see clearly the value that you get on top of the normal like curve. So it is scary when the enemy can kill it, but if he doesn't, the next turn you are just landing with what, 6/6 stats. It's basically like Chariot level busted if it works. The difference is Chariot always works if it comes into battlefield. This might not work, so sometimes consider this one extra mana to, you know, just make sure that you will trigger what you want. But this card is really like the powerhouse for the deck, it feels, and then this gives value to all those 1 mana enchantments. And yeah, you get the free creatures, so you can start drawing cards in the longer, slower games. So you can just draw cards from the frog, sacrifice it, then get enchantment, then cast enchantment, then get another frog, and in the meantime you also can drain enemy with enchantment. That's pretty huge. And I really like this card. I think those cards really shine. Gloomshrieker and so on, of course, as well. Life of Toshiro Umezawa is decent. It helped a lot. It sometimes didn't do much, so it's very situational, but I think this is one of the best houses for this deck. Shigeki, I honestly don't know. It didn't feel great. I see that it has synergy like with legendary enchantment creature and so on, but to be honest, if you play this, you don't really want to ramp most of the time. I'm not sure. If anything, I would consider like Skeletal Swarming and Shigeki, because they are like, you know, those a bit more junky cards. The rest of the deck really works nicely with each other. So, you know, if you like to experiment, definitely try this version. And I think Skeletal Swarming in this deck actually makes sense. And, you know, like you can see the value. And I think one of the games really showed how much value you can drain from this card in this deck. But it's so slow and it's so vulnerable. It just feels like it doesn't do what it needs to do very often, especially as your 5-drop. So probably like even like, I don't know, Okay, I won't think in ad hoc like 5 seconds about the replacement, but definitely something can be done better here if we really spend the time, I think. So, that being said, I hope you enjoyed the deck. It has been pretty fun. It's very different from the other Golgari, so probably pretty good to experiment with different decks. We already like milked the Shigeki Invoke combo so much that like I think we hit the limit with this. So it's nice to see different types of deck, and going like with the win rate, we went 50% win rate. Like exactly, we won 3 games, I believe, and we lost 3 games. So you know, it's decent. It's decent, and I definitely make some mistakes in piloting the deck, so it could be better even. So that's it for the introduction. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a bit concise. I sidetracked way too much. Sorry for that. I hope you don't mind. And as always, if you like the channel, if you like the decks and like having a fresh contender junk every single day, don't forget to subscribe. It really does help, and I do appreciate everyone that spent this 5 seconds today. Just click those 2 buttons. Okay, and that being said, let's go into the games, and I hope you will enjoy them. Alright, so we are going second. We have a 3-drop, so it's not the worst. Hi Dragon, where's your laser? Alright, we got a 1-drop. That's actually pretty good. We don't get much synergy, but I think the fact that we have something on the board is already relevant, so let's go for this. Maybe it is some removal, so the Tatsunari will come a bit stronger. So, first of all, attack. Yep. It might be a Juari, but I prefer this to it Juari, and we can get it back later with an enchantment, so, you know. It also means that when Fang of Shigeki dies, it's an enchantment. So we get the stuff back, so that's pretty good. And he actually used a nearly hard counter spell for this. So I do not mind it as much as he thinks we do. Alright, so we can go either for Tatsunari or just the chef. And honestly, I think in this situation it's probably the chef. We need 1 black, right? Oh, we need 2. So actually I will play like this. This way, make disappear, doesn't do anything, and we can start cycling whatever we want. Also at the end step. And it puts the enchantment into the graveyard, so we draw 2 cards basically. That's pretty insane. And that's Hinata. Okay. I think we can do it right now. Cause why not? We of course take the action, cause why wouldn't we? Spells you cost. Yeah, but we don't target anything, Chapter does. Chapter does. So, for this reason, all we need is 1 binding. And that's actually the best target we could hope for, because he tapped entirely. And I'm really not sure about displaying Hinata. Like, generally you probably want to wait until 5 mana, right? Just to protect it, because it's much harder to double remove, especially with the targeting tags. So, in the end, I think that probably the better play for him was just to wait 1 more turn. Especially we had no pressure on the board, like, it's just 1-1 that cycles, so I guess we have Kami, but you know, I just don't feel it as much as we could maybe. Let's go with the combat, cause why not? Let's see how enemy plays, but frankly he has no reason to kill this. Enemy is like really tanking. I think he might be salty after, you know, getting his Hinata rolled, but maybe not. We'll see, we'll see. Definitely this 1 damage doesn't count as much to think for so long. But yes, of course, I'm the last person to talk about playing slow, so maybe we go like this. So we can pay 2 mana. This will make disappear. Not really great here. We could even play the Kami, right? They might have burned down the house. We do have enchantment, so if you want to counter it, sure, that's a free card for us, sooner or later. Okay, that's completely fine. Like with Kami, it's not very easy to lose the values. I want to pressure him as much as possible, because if he taps out, then we can play the Skeletal Swarming. And that's the thing, you know? I think we play like this. This will make Kami bigger, and that's one of the big reasons. Like, attacking for 2 and 3 is a big difference generally, and we have 2 mana to sacrifice whatever will happen, and if he has 1 make disappear, he has no creatures for casualty. We won't play Meathook Massacre, even though it's tempting, but it later gets Kami back. And with Skeletal Swarming, we will have things to do. And it is reading our busted mythic level card. Okay, let's read the card. At the beginning of your end step. So probably I should have sacrificed, but you know, let's say that that was the optimal play, because like really we cannot then answer very easily. Like, do we sacrifice? Yes, of course we do. We want the cards, right? This way we get free 1 card. We don't really get like the double token, but it's not the main thing if we can keep drawing cards, especially that I don't want to lose mana. That's completely fine. As long as we go card for card, we should be fine, and especially with this. Yeah, like I think it's getting better and better for us. This is enchantment, right? But I want the Meathook Massacre so much here. So for this reason, whenever you cast... Okay, so this will be cast. And the enemy might... Yeah, he has make disappear, so we need to incorporate it, because we might be forced to get a lot of cards. A lot of mana, sorry. I'm thinking about the tax. So right now we can go for 2. We have 4 mana left exactly. And I think that's the play. It also will force. We could of course do it before, but it's easier to make him take the 3 damage instead of buffing it and making him get 2 damage. Yep. My friend, exactly the mana that you hate. So, what's up? I'm pretty sure he has make disappear. Okay. That's interesting one. So I guess let's force enemy to sweep. I will wait with this 1 card, because Dockside Chef is actually so much card draw. It's insane. Like, I guess with Hinata you can expect a lot of protection, like marches and things like this. Maybe even sleep away or whatever it's called. So enemy has a lot of tempo, but what now? Like, we will take this 2 damage. If he sweeps, that's just better to have more creatures, right? Now we play like this, we get double triggers, and now whatever he will do, we can start sacrificing creatures. I'm not sure if that kills him, to be honest. We could probably just keep drawing cards somehow. Maybe that's the play. There is a high chance that's the play. And you can clearly see like Skeletal Swarming, shining, just dominating the game, and totally not the 2-drop that we also have in the deck. Alright, so that is his play. That's pretty good. Last card. But we'll have more tokens, we will have a lot of mana. So I'm overall fine with this. So we get 2 skeletons, and we can sacrifice as much as we want. Like, we are reaching the point when we can just, you know, meet hook enemy, so he's dead. So what is the idea? Is that another Magma Opus from the top? He definitely plays like it is. But he needs to declare it at some point. They have Trample. Okay, sure. Do we care? I guess we can die next turn. But I still think our Meathook is really strong. I'm not sure if we should drain him. If we attack with everything, what happens? I'm not sure what the last card is. He might have Magma Opus and then tap this, kill the rest, and then we have to tap out for the draw and then we die. But if he doesn't have it, then it's what? He can block 2 creatures at best. So let's pretend this deals 1 damage and they deal 3 damage. So we probably win then, right? That's an interesting one, let's say. We have some cards in the graveyard. So I guess we have to start like this and see what's up. Enemy didn't Magma Opus by now, so it means he doesn't have it. Like, if he had it, he would cast before the attack phase. I assume he didn't make a mistake. Right, you little Razor Dragon, with 1 animation, because we don't want more. Maybe he has more, I don't know. Oh, no, it's the same one. Yeah, cool. Even on the wings. Okay, back to the game. Yeah, that's probably the best draw. We can choose what we kill. And this is 5 damage? Bro, are you sure you know what you are doing? I really missed the point here. What's up? By the way, Meathook Massacre, good card. Wow, that was a first class strategy, definitely. The blocks that can't go wrong. Like, what? Oh man, good to be back in Platinum. Okay guys, can you feel this? Can you feel the game where we make Tatsunari, the Toad Rider, the thing that rides on the toad, shine? I'm not extremely maybe happy about playing this 1-drop. Maybe we should wait until we have some enchantments, but like frankly it's probably still the best. And if he targets it, we can sacrifice it and then step. So, you know, not a biggie. We are against some kind of crazy Rakdos deck. And for this reason alone, we will cast our Frog and be happy about it, because that's a lot of pressure and every HP will matter. Wow, that's an animation. I have to say, this dragon is definitely one of the most excited of his kind. Like, he flies at the start, he gets excited, he makes the laser, but he will be nameless forever because we don't see his dragon face. That's an interesting decision. I guess it was more of a mana decision, more than anything else. This is legendary, don't forget. Smart. What do we do? I think the Meathook will be important. Oh look, that's an enchantment spell, and suddenly we have 7/7. Jokes aside, that's actually so powerful. And Meathook Massacre might be quick to end something. Oh, we have an ability. Tatsunari, and target frog cannot be blocked without a reach thing. Until end of the turn, right? This turn, okay. I'm learning, you know, my main deck today. Legit. So I think we just smork him, right? That's the point. He and his favorite frog cannot be blocked. You can block the Death Touch guy, so enjoy. Oh, he wants to do it. He needs to read the cards now. Oh, by the way, Tapland really made a problem, but with this ability we can really abuse it a bit. Do you want to block my 1 attack creature? And believe me, this might be a good idea, because you are in trouble, my friend. Okay, that's a lot of damage to take for no reason. Love it. Huh, so what do we do? Like, we can drain 1 and ensure the drain 3. But I do not feel that's what we need. Yeah, it goes into the night. Actually, that's really good for us. We just need to draw some lands, and then we can sweep everything. And then repopulate. As long as he doesn't here, I'm not super scared about it. And honestly, we can... Yeah, like, he knows he cannot do anything, because he cannot block 6 damage a turn. Like, for free. And he's losing the race. Man, this card is actually insane in this deck. Like, look at this game. 7 power, like, randomly, and unblockable. Okay, I'm drinking my soda. Okay, so I'm not loving this hand. I totally don't, but if we are on the draw with our cheerful dragon that is becoming slowly the star of this show, I think that we should draw at least 1 forest in the game, and then we can go crazy with everything. Life of Toshiro Umezawa might actually be quite important here, because it's potentially double removal. We start with this one, then we play the creature. Like, you know, so far so good, and the fact that we can give this +2/+2 2 times is actually pretty relevant. But we need to hit the forest very quickly. I mean very quickly. That's a hard one. Like, we probably have to do it this one, right? Do we go defense? Like, it's wasted if we don't do it, right? This is Boros, so Cavalier will go next turn. But this is until end of turn, so whatever. Like, okay. Maybe gain life was the best choice, I'm not sure. Because we are getting Smork, my friend. What? Good. So it's just the token. Love it. Okay, and that's a green mana. Okay, and the token might die. Even better. Easy. Okay, that's cool. You know what? Like, at this point we are racing him, I think. Because, you know, we are dealing damage, we have a lot of stuff going on. And at some point we will hit our big hitters. And they do provide some value. Smirk. 4 damage. Okay, it gets scary because the Aspirant is a good card. But at the same time, I think we want the Toshiro first. I don't know if we want to put the counter, and I guess we don't. But you know, we actually start having boards right now, randomly, for no reason. And that's pretty good. Alright, so is this the Aspirant? That's my only question. We have quite a lot of mana. We could even go for the Skeletal Swarming. We could even bait some deaths. Is it even worth it? I think we just go for the Binding, honestly. Like, the Binding is the name of the game, because that's, like, we don't care about his 3 drops, another 3 drops, we just care about this one broken 2 drop, basically. And let's put this, because he might have Meathook Massacre. If he has this, I will cry, but at the same time he has also a lot of tokens, so maybe he won't, I don't know. We have a lot of creatures and we have blocker with Death Touch, so I do not mind attacking. If he wants to double block, then we kill the Shaman, and he doesn't want to trade for Shaman. Like Fable, Kiki-Jiki, this is a problem. We need to find a solution. Quite quickly, probably. Instant or sorcery? Are you an instant? No. Maybe a sorcery? Also no. Okay, that's an interesting attack. That seems like a big bait. Oh, so enemy will Meathook, and he needed this 1 mana to sweep everything. So we don't really gain much. That's unfortunate, so we will get swept, I'm pretty sure. But we get the Sagas, so it's not the worst, and Skeletal Swarming. So we trade like this, we trade like this, it won't matter, he sweeps everything. I'm thinking about the blocks, because maybe this 1 damage will matter, but he has exactly enough to damage 3 with the Meathook. Yep, easy predictions. However, Predicted or not, it still hurts like a truck. So, you know, let's go with the creature first. That is the good part. Even after sweeping, you generally don't want enemy to be already rebuilt with everything, and this is basically what happened. And this is enchantment creature. You may pay X. Yeah, I should probably read the cards, right? That usually helps winning. So 2/2 flying, whenever another creature enters, pay X, put X counters on it, as long as you control 5 or more modified creatures. Okay. Yeah, sure. I will. You may pay on that creature. Okay, sure. You know what? It's just converting mana to value for free. So, you know, what not to like. Kiki-Jiki is scary, and we might die to it very quickly, to be frank. Good. That's exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm not sure how we play this out. Like, I want Skeletal Swarming. What is the worst thing that can happen? The famous last words. Like, so far he didn't have, like, devastating creatures. So maybe we have this time for one Skeletal Swarming. This can also block, right? Yeah, the new create tapped, okay, it cannot. Not great. He can attack with the Hive as well. So double Hive attack is something guaranteed if he wants to. So it has to be worse than this. Okay, so it will probably be Kami, I would guess, right?
Now you've done it. Hat's coming off.
Good choice, good choice. The annoying card.
My judgment is.
Oh man, I don't like it, but it feels like maybe we should Meathook. I'm greedy. I'm just greedy. I think nothing died, right? Yeah, so only one skeleton, not the best, but we will make it work. Like, they can buff each other later. It's okay. I won't pay. I could pay 0. I would feel like I'm in control, but maybe that won't really make a big difference. Okay, and this way we bait enemy into board more. If you sweep already with the first card, then the enemy is not incentivized to build on the board, so while we lose some value... Oh, he's so proud that he will kill this dragon. Little did he know. But we need to draw a land, right? Oopsie. I really want to draw my land. Thank you. Easy. Never didn't have it. Completely planned and exactly as we wanted. See, that's how you play the game. You just draw the correct cards from the top, and then you get bragging rights when you win. That's basically magic in the bottle. Alright, jokes aside, we are even on the Meathook. Enemy has enormous pressure on the board, so we really need those skeletons to do stuff very quickly. So if there is a game that Skeletal Swarming is a thing, this has to be this game. We are at 12, enemy is at 19, so we definitely need a lot of skeletons. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? We just make more skeletons, right? Like, this is the game. So this will leave us with 1 mana, and we have to deal with this. He will get lifelink, but unfortunately that's not how we win the game, it seems. So we attack the Emperor. He can defend. Oh, they both have to attack. They both have to attack. If they want to protect the Emperor, they will. But you know what? We can maybe bait them a bit. Yeah, the fact that skeletons basically can never block is, you know, a thing. That's a risky block. We could Meathook Massacre if we had another. Enemy is playing like the serious game. Man, we are dead, right? Like, we are actually dead. We will still make this skeletons. Like, this is the point, but you can clearly see what issues this card might have. What? Why do we have one only? At the beginning you will create tapped token. If a creature died this turn, are you a creature? Yes, you are a creature. I don't get it. I would expect that both of them will make 2 skeletons. I just don't get it.
I'm not afraid of any.
They are creatures.
Fleet.
And do we discard a card? Honestly, probably this is the last card we will be able to play. Oh, and also we don't have a choice. That's probably making things easier.
Pleasure doing business.
Skeletal Swarming for you. Yeah. You can clearly see the problem, right? Alright, this hand doesn't feel great. Like, we have great mid-game, amazing mid-game, but I'm not sure if you can survive until the mid-game. Okay, let's hope that the enemy has not like crazy aggressive hand. Like, if he has something slower, we are definitely in a strong place, but we need to get there. Like, after the ramp from the bindings is overall pretty good, probably. That's interesting. Do we do it? Maybe we do it at the upkeep, right? We have 4. Yeah, I want to do it this way, because if he cannot get a land, like, yeah, he can take mana now, but it's only instant, and he doesn't have anything to get mana otherwise, so then he needs to tap up full turn just to make a play that maybe he didn't really want. Sorry for the priority, I didn't notice. So let's hope he doesn't have it. In the worst case, we make his mana base worse for this turn. If you do it in the main phase, it's disaster, and you really help the enemy then. You basically ramp him for free. Okay, so it might not be like... yeah, it might be just a deck that uses 2 colors and gets Triumph for the cycling. We will see, it's hard to say. Not sure if that was worth it, but we have 4 mana, we don't really need much more. With the bindings we have a lot of mana for the future, so I thought that that's a luxury. Man, like, he has 3 proving grounds from the top, so I guess that's the last thing he feared. And he still has the forest. Definitely that is extremely heavy on all those stuff. And I do not want to cast binding this way. Like, do we really do it again? I really want some value from this. Oh man, that's awful. That's awful on so many levels. Unfortunately, I think this is the play we have to make, but if it dies to 1 mana Strangle, I will just cry in my corner. But we have to push the enemy somehow. Okay, that's really good. So then we kill it. When we can start getting value from the bindings, I think we are okay. Okay, so if we didn't do this play, we would be pretty unhappy person right now. And now we get the frog, and now the life is good. The moment you trigger the frog, you are just ahead on the board. Yeah, that's the fight rigging. When you don't have the perfect draw, it just feels horrible. I know, I've been there. Okay, so we have frog. Like, we have 6 power on the board, on top of basically like removing everything every turn. At some point we will hit the 5th land for the Skeletal Swarming. And if he cannot trigger the same turn fight rigging, so he needs to basically play the shakedown heavy. At the same time he tries to, you know, do the other thing. That's really good. Man, we are starting the ramp, and we already get the drain from the frog as well. And suddenly, even though we wasted Boseiju, like, I wouldn't call it waste, I think it was decent play. but like we wasted one card for basically nothing and we are still ahead on lands. And that's why we did it, because the binding is a really strong card if you can slow roll the game a bit. So if we do this, okay, I think we do it like this. That's a 3 damage. That's not exactly what we want to get hit with. And Skeletal Swarming, because in WoW, like, they don't have black, whatever. Like, not really. I don't believe this is black, really. Like, it's for shakedown heavy, but that's it, probably. I don't think they run the spare. So, for this reason, even if they did, they would be able to remove the binding in one of the skeletons, so we protect the best creatures. Wow. You are a monster. Like, okay, deserved. I guess deserved, but I think we are still in a good spot. Enemy needs to kill the frog. If he cannot kill the frog, I do not know how he can win, really. So we do it like this, right? Okay. Yeah, tap it like this, please. Now we cast this. This has banners, don't forget. Enemy gets drained. And suddenly, just like this, he might have an instant that deals 3 damage. But if not, that's it. That's fight rigging for you. You need to draw perfectly and then it works a bit. So I'm not a fan of this deck, as you can see. And you can clearly see why. It's just so slow and you don't get perfect pieces.